Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Going to be giving you my predictions for Manchester United's game against Crystal Palace at Old Trafford. So score prediction, I'm going to go with 2-0 to Manchester United. And the goal scorers, I'm going to go with Cristiano Ronaldo and Jadon Sancho. So that is your predictions. On my next video, I will be giving you my predicted 11. Manchester United are coming into this game against Crystal Palace on the back of a 3-2 win against Arsenal. Manchester United's goals against Arsenal came from Bruno Fernandes and Ronaldo got a brace. Ronaldo now has over 800 goals in his career and 12 goals in all competitions since he re-signed for the club. Arsenal's goals came from Emil Smith-Rowe and Martin Odegaard. This game against Crystal Palace will be Ralf Rangnick's first game in charge of Manchester United. Revert back to earlier on this week, Rangnick got announced as Manchester United's interim manager until the end of the season. Then after that, Rangnick will continue in a consultancy role for a further 2 years. Rangnick has been given a 100 million transfer budget for January. Rangnick wants Amadou Haidara. Amadou Haidara has a 33 million release clause. Rangnick also wants a Timo Werner reunion at Man United, and there's a couple of other players he wants. Before Manchester United, Rangnick was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. Manchester United do have quite a few players out. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, he's got a head injury. So reflecting on that, he played no part against Arsenal recently. Dalot started ahead of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Dalot put a very good performance out against Arsenal, to his credit. Matic, he's also got an injury. He's a doubt for this game against Palace. Cavani's still out with injury. Varane, he's out with a hamstring injury. Pogba, he's still out with a thigh injury. Pogba is out for the rest of the year. And Luke Shaw, he's got a head injury. Luke Shaw has missed Manchester United's last 3 games. So there you go. Crystal Palace, they're coming into this game on the back of a 1-0 defeat to Leeds. Palace are sitting 11th in the Premier League. I do know quite a few of the players that Crystal Palace have got. Obviously they've got Jordan Ayew. He's definitely one of Crystal Palace's key players. They've also got Christian Benteke. Crystal Palace have also got Wilfried Zaha. Wilfried Zaha is probably the best player Crystal Palace have got. Wilfried Zaha is a former Manchester United player, so if he plays in this game, he'll be reuniting with Man United. Palace have also got that Robert Street. They've got Odsonne Eduardo. They got Eduardo from Celtic last summer. They've also got Matetia. Crystal Palace have also got Jeffrey Schlupp. Palace have got Will Hughes. They got him from Watford. Palace have also got Nathan Ferguson. He's out with injury at the moment. They've got James MacArthur. He's out with injury at the moment. They've also got that Anderson. He's out with injury. Palace have also got Joel Ward. He's suspended for this game. Palace have also got Martin Kelly. I think he's a defender. They've also got James Tompkins. They've got Kouyaté. They've got Nathaniel Klein. Nathaniel Klein is a former Liverpool player. So they are quite a few of the players that Crystal Palace have got. One of the goalkeepers Crystal Palace have got, that's Giatta. They've also got Jack Butland, he's another goalkeeper. And they've also got that Remy Matthews. Manchester United have done transfer business before with Palace. Don't forget we got Aaron Wan-Bissaka off there. Manchester United got Bissaka for around 50 million back in the summer of 2019. And obviously Palace have done transfer business with us because Palace got Wilfried Zaha from Manchester United. The Crystal Palace manager is Patrick Vieira. Crystal Palace appointed Vieira in earlier on this year. Patrick Vieira has got a contract with Crystal Palace until 2024. Before Crystal Palace, Vieira managed Nice. Before then, he managed New York City. And at one point he managed Manchester City's under-19s. Before Patrick Vieira, Crystal Palace had Roy Hodgson. Roy Hodgson left Palace at the end of last season. Anyway, this fixture last season, Crystal Palace won 3-1. It was the first game of last season. The game at Selhurst Park last season was 0-0. Manchester United's next game after Palace is Young Boys. That game against Young Boys is a meaningless game because Manchester United are already into the last 16 of the Champions League. A lot of rotation will be made against Young Boys. Then after Young Boys, Manchester United play Norwich. That's next week. Manchester United will get a permanent manager at the end of the season. There's been quite a few names linked with the permanent role at Man United. Now, not so long ago, there was rumours coming out about Roberto Mancini. He said Manchester United consider hiring Roberto Mancini instead of Mauricio Pochettino. Roberto Mancini is in charge of Italy. He's been in charge of Italy since 2018. He's got a contract with Italy until 2026. Revert back to last summer, he won the European Championship with Italy. Around a decade ago, Roberto Mancini was the manager of Man City, and when he managed Man City, he won the Premier League, the FA Cup and the Charity Shield. Pochettino, I have been talking with you a lot about him recently. Pochettino said quite a few times that he's happy at PSG. And he did mention that he won't let the Man United rumours distract him. The other week it said PSG rejected Manchester United's approach to appoint Mauricio Pochettino. Reports said the other week that Pochettino's interested in the Man United job, and the Manchester Evening News came out and said that Man United are confident of appointing Mauricio Pochettino as the next permanent manager. And it said Man United agreed to pay the 10 million compensation fee for him. Revert back to when Man United sacked Mourinho. Man United should have got Poch then, but the club decided to go with Solskjaer instead. He's a good manager, is Pochettino, even though he's hardly won anything. I think he has won a cup with PSG. Pochettino has a full season left on his PSG contract. Pochettino is proven in the Premier League, which is beneficial because before he managed Tottenham, he endured 5.5 years at Tottenham. In 2018, he guided Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final. He almost won the Premier League when he was Tottenham manager. Before Pochettino managed Southampton, he only endured a short tenure with them, but he still managed to guide Southampton to their highest ever finish in the Premier League. So they're the clubs he's managed in the Premier League so far, and before he managed Espanyol. Erik ten Hag, he was mentioned not so long ago. He did say that Erik ten Hag is said to be interested in the Man United job in the summer, and Ajax will not stand in his way if he wants to leave at the end of the season. Revert back to what it said not so long ago, that Erik ten Hag is Man United's alternative target to Pochettino. So if Man United can't get Pochettino, they'll look to get Erik ten Hag. And Brendan Rodgers, he's been mentioned a lot as well. Revert back to earlier on in the season, it said Rodgers was contacted by Man United. Rodgers, though, dismissed the links to the Man United job. He come out and said, "I'm proud to be at Leicester." Revert back to earlier on this season, though. It did say that Rodgers was house hunting in Cheshire, and that stirred some suggestions up. At that point, it said Rodgers was the favourite to replace Solskjaer. Manchester United have sacked 4 permanent managers since Ferguson. Manchester United sacked Moyes after 10 months. Man United finished 7th under the Moyes era. That's the lowest we've finished, I think, in the Premier League era. Then Man United sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years or so. He won the FA Cup when he was United manager. Then Man United sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years, despite him winning 3 trophies in his first season. Mourinho did enjoy 1 good season at Man United. And of course, over a week ago, Manchester United sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer following the 4-1 defeat to Watford. As you all know, Solskjaer did give a farewell interview, and he got emotional in that farewell interview, which is understandable because Solskjaer adores the club. And Solskjaer was part of the club for a long time. He was Manchester United manager for almost 3 years. and Solskjaer did endure 11 years as a player for Man United, so that's almost 14 years in total. Manchester United have not been the same team since Ferguson retired. And a lot of United fans predicted it was all going to go wrong when he retired, which obviously it has done. You know, no one's going to replicate what Ferguson did at the club. And in that aspect, Man United have got to accept that. Ferguson brought success to Man United. He won 30 odd trophies, including 13 Premier League titles. But Ferguson didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. So it does take some managers time to settle in. Ferguson was at Manchester United for around 26 years. So reflecting on that, he was a very long-serving manager. Manchester United are going to offload players next year. Martial, I think he's going to be leaving the football club next year. Martial's not good enough to represent the club. I think he's only enjoyed one good season at Man United. That was his debut season under the Louis van Gaal era. Martial doesn't really get in the team, does he? Even though he started on the left against Villarreal. He could be involved in this game against Palace on Sunday. Martial come back from injury not so long ago. Martial's been at Manchester United for 6.5 years now. He's got 3 years left on his contract. Manchester United got him for around 58 million. With add-ons included from Monaco back in 2015. I think Cavani is going next year. Cavani is interested in making a move to Barcelona next summer when his contract expires. Cavani initially lost his place in the Man United team with the club re-signing Ronaldo last summer. Cavani's out with injury at the moment. He had an injury earlier on this season. Man United got Cavani on a free transfer from PSG. This season is Cavani's second full season at Man United. Lingard, I think he's also leaving the football club next year. Lingard doesn't really get in the team. Lingard has only made one start this season. That was West Ham in the Carabao Cup. Revert back to the other week. BBC Sports said that Lingard's future at Man United is in doubt after talks over a new contract collapsed. Lingard's contract at Man United expires next summer. Not so long ago it said Lingard could leave Man United for just £10 million, but it's better to cash in for him rather than let his contract run down and let him go on a free. Lingard has been part of Manchester United for a long time, hasn't he? The other week it said West Ham want to re-sign Lingard. Well, at the second half of last season, Lingard endured a 4-month loan spell with West Ham and he made an impact. I heard as well that Lingard wants to go abroad. Juan Mata, I think he's also leaving the club next year. Mata's contract at Man United expires next summer. Because earlier on this year, Juan Mata signed a 1-year contract extension. I can't understand why we extended his contract for a further year. Because Mata doesn't get in the team. And plus he's ageing up and he's lost that yard of pace. But despite all of that, I think he's had a good career at Man United. Mata's made over 200 appearances in all competitions and he's scored over 50 goals. He's been at Man United for around 7.5 years now, so he's been a long-serving player. Man United got Mata from Chelsea back in 2014 for 40 million. We brought him in under the Moyes era. Matic, I think he's also leaving the club next year. Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but despite that he does seem to get his chances, and surprisingly enough Matic has been ahead of Van der Beek in our midfield. I think Matic is the only predominant centre defensive midfielder that Man United have got at the moment. As you all know, Matic has picked up an injury recently. I've always had my reservations about Matic because he's always been a static midfielder, plus he's ageing up and that. But he's had his good games at United. You know, Matic has been at Man United for 4.5 years. Man United got him from Chelsea back in 2017. Man United paid £40 million for him. Donny van de Beek, good chance he'll leave next year. But if he gets his opportunities now under Ralf Rangnick, you know, there's a good chance that will persuade Van der Beek to stay. Towards the end of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial tenure, Van der Beek did confirm that he wants to leave Manchester United in January. Van der Beek's been at Manchester United for over 1.5 years now. And this season is his second full season at the club. Man United got Van der Beek for 40 million with add-ons included, so reflect on what we paid for him, you'd have expected him to play a lot more. He's got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year, and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. Paul Pogba, I think he'll also leave the football club next year. Revert back to earlier on this season, it said Man United are prepared to sell Paul Pogba in the January transfer window. Pogba's current contract at Man United expires next summer. Revert back to the start of the season, Pogba rejected a new Man United contract offer. Pogba is out for the rest of the year with a thigh injury. He got the thigh injury in France training earlier on this season. Revert back towards the start of the season, Pogba did well. You know, Pogba's got 7 assists so far in the league this season. He produced good performances for Man United in the last couple of months of last season as well. But at one point last season, he was out with a thigh injury for a while. And Dalot, I think he'll leave next year. Dalot doesn't really get in the team, you know. Dalot only plays when Bissaka's not available. Bissaka wasn't available against Arsenal, so obviously Dalot played ahead of him, and like I mentioned earlier on, he put a very good performance out. He's done well in quite a few of the games he's been involved in. Dalot, you know, last season, Dalot had a loan spell with AC Milan, so reflecting on that, he gained some experience. Man United got Dalot around 3 years ago from Porto. Man United paid £19 million for him. He's got a contract with Man United till 2023. Bailly and Jones, I think they're going next year. Bailly obviously played against Chelsea last Sunday. Put a very good performance out to his credit. The only reason Bailly played against Chelsea because Maguire wasn't available, because Maguire was suspended. Maguire's obviously now back from suspension, but the reason Maguire was suspended for Chelsea because he got sent off in the 4-1 defeat to Watford. I wanted to see Bailly play against Arsenal, but unfortunately he didn't. As for Phil Jones, you know, he doesn't get in the team, does he? And I'd say Jones has always been inconsistent. You know, at one point, Jones was out with a knee injury for a while. Did you know Jones is the only outfield player that's still with Man United from the Ferguson era? This season is his 11th season, so Jones has been a very long-serving player. Telles, there has been rumours before about him possibly leaving next year. He could leave next year because Telles only starts, you know, when Luke Shaw's not available. I've got to give Telles credit though. I think he's done really well in his last 3 games. You know, he played well against Arsenal, he played well against Chelsea last Sunday, and he played well against Villarreal the other week. The reason we brought Telles in was to provide competition for Shaw. Earlier on this season, Telles had an injury. Man United got Telles for 15.4 million with add-ons included. And Dean Henderson, you know, he's going out on loan next year. Henderson's confirmed he wants to go out on loan next year. Well, he might as well, because Henderson doesn't get in goal now, because revert back to last summer, De Gea reclaimed that number 1 spot back. Henderson's only been in goal for one game so far this season. That was West Ham in the Cup. And earlier on this season, he was out with COVID for a while. So there you go. But, you know, hopefully now, under Ralf Rangnick, we can start to get the best out of these group of players. Because, you know, Manchester United have got very, very good players. But obviously, revert back to when we had Solskjaer. You know, the players weren't proving how good they can actually be. Because they weren't playing for Solskjaer, especially in the last few months of his managerial tenure. We already look better without Solskjaer because, you know, beat Arsenal 3-2 recently, got a draw at Stamford Bridge and went to Villarreal and won. You could say if we'd have still had Solskjaer, that wouldn't have happened. But look who we've got, you know, we've got best player in the world overall in Ronaldo. You know, you've got Greenwood, that's a talented player. You've got Rashford, that's a good player. You've got Cavani, that's good. You've got Fernandes, that's very, very good. Even though he has had his poor games this season, you know, you've got Sancho, that's doing good now. We're starting to get the best out of Sancho. You know, you've got Van der Beek, that's good. You've got Pogba, that's good. You know, you've got Telles, that's good. You've got Luke Shaw, that's a good left-back overall. But Luke Shaw's certainly not proven how good he can be so far this season. And I'm shocked in that aspect because last season Luke Shaw was superb, but this season he's been terrible. I'm sure at some point, you know, Shaw will regain his form. And then you've got Harry Maguire, that's good when he wants to be. Maguire weren't too bad against Arsenal yesterday. I'm hoping from now, under Ralf Rangnick, we can start to get the best out of Maguire. You know, you've got Raphael Varane, that's a good centre-half, but Varane's out with a hamstring injury at the moment. So second injury is endured at United because revert back to earlier on this season, he was out with a groin injury for a few weeks. And then obviously you've got Bissaka, that's good defensively, but the attacking side of his game is not so good. And you've obviously got David De Gea, that's a very, very good goalkeeper. He's done really well so far this season, to his credit, you know. Fred, he's really impressed me in his last two games, you know, played well against Arsenal and also put a good second half performance out against Chelsea last Sunday. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.